Hi, I'm Debbie. Welcome to Just Breathe. We're just going to do a very slow beginner flow today, finding our breath, finding a couple basic moves on the mat. So if you're brand new to yoga, or you just need to be a little bit more relaxed today, we'll go through a few fundamental poses, and then we'll end up back on the mat again, just relaxing, just taking a little bit of time. It's a good introduction to yoga. So sit comfortably. Easy pose is one leg in front of the other, either way. Not everyone always sits here in this lotus position like this. Just feel relaxed, feel comfortable. And if your knees are up higher than your hips, you may actually want to sit on a blanket to allow your spine and your hips to be in a nice, good, comfortable position so that you have that natural curve in your low back and the shoulders are back and the chin is lifted. So let's just find that comfortable position, that smooth, fluid breath in through the nose, out through the nose. And relax the shoulders away from the ears. Bring one hand to the chest and one to the belly. And you'll notice as you inhale, your belly expands. And as we exhale, it sort of draws back in. So we're just finding a smooth belly breath. Lengthening those breaths. Clearing the mind. Focusing on what's happening in our body today. We always inhale and exhale through the nose. It's a calming, detoxifying way to breathe. Take a couple more breaths and settle yourself in so that you feel focused and relaxed. And then as we inhale, we'll sweep the fingertips up to the sky. Let's bring the right hand behind the low back. Whether you're on a block, a blanket, or sitting on the floor, bring it close to your tailbone. And as we exhale, we'll bring that left arm over to the right knee. And we'll just find ourselves in a very gentle twist, looking over the right shoulder. With each inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine. With each exhale, we may just twist a little bit deeper. Always listen to your own bodies. And don't try to go further than your body feels like going today. There's no benefit in hurting yourself or trying to do more than you're ready for. As we bring the gaze back to the front, we'll sweep the fingertips back up to the sky. And as we exhale, we'll go to the opposite side. So bring the opposite hand over. And the closer the fingertips are behind your tailbone, the easier it will be to lengthen the spine and to look up and allow the crown of the head to reach tall. Bringing the gaze back to the front and center. Let's just roll forward on our hands and knees right here. And bring the knees down. Bring the big toes together, a wide-kneed child's pose. You can stack your hands and drop your forehead down. Allow that body to relax. Allow the hips and the inner thighs to sink. Each inhalation, just draw that breath into the core of the pelvis. And with each exhalation, breathe out. Let the air just come right out. The crown of the head, just push it right out. up to hands and knees. Knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. Lengthen the spine. Draw the heart forward. Lift the tailbone up, arcing the back. And as we exhale to cat, rounding the spine, push the floor away, tuck the tailbone. And then inhale back to cow pose. And once again, cat. Really articulating that spine. Beginning to move the breath and the body together. And again, exhaling. And as we sit back onto our heels, tuck the toes this time so that you can stretch the toes out and just sit back. And if that's very painful, just support yourself with your fingers right here, just for a moment. Just good to stretch those feet, the little arches of your feet, your toes. Take another breath. We'll turn long ways onto the mat. And from this position, from your cow pose, with your arched back, the natural curve in your spine, keep the toes tucked and begin to straighten the legs. Lifting the sitting bones up, finding downward facing dog. Fingertips press forward, ears drop down between your biceps. If we're still feeling rounded and stiff here, bend the knees and push the tailbone back, finding that arc in the low back. Drop the head down. We're going to inhale out to a plank pose, which is the up push-up position, and go ahead and drop the knees to a knee plank. And remember, this is quite useful, and you should probably use this if you're a beginner. Always dropping to your knees, and then press back to child's pose again. Whether your knees are together or wide, you're sitting your hips back onto your heels and dropping your forehead all the way down to the ground. As we inhale and come back up to that tabletop position, tucking the toes, finding plank, and then lifting back to downward facing dog, we'll exhale. I like to flow this movement. It's called motion of the ocean, and it feels really good to warm the body. So we inhale as we come out and drop the knees. When you run out of breath, you exhale back to child's pose. Inhaling back to tabletop and plank. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhaling back out to plank, tabletop, and child's pose. Exhale. Try that again a couple more times. You can always do this motion of the ocean at your own pace, with your own breath. Let the breath lead the body. Exhaling. And we'll all end up in downward facing dog. You can pedal your heels. Allow the body to begin to open just a little bit more. Moving side to side. What feels good in your body, that's where you should always be. As the right leg extends up to the sky, we're going to take that right foot and step up between your fingertips so your toes and fingers are even with the front edge of the mat. Lifting the back thigh, keeping the front knee directly over the ankle and moving the chest forward. We'll drop the back knee, exhale, and walk the hands up to the knees. And inhale and lengthen the spine. Just a little bit. Keep lifting. Feel rooted to the earth with your foot, your knee. And keep the core strong. As we exhale, we'll press back as if we were going to sit back on our back foot. And lift the front toes up to the sky to stretch the calf and the hamstring. Coming back to that raised runner's lunge, we'll find downward facing dog once again. This time as we ripple out to a plank pose, we'll drop the knees and we'll drop the belly and flatten the toes and find a baby cobra. So as we draw the shoulders back and tuck the elbows in, we'll lift the heart center forward, using your back muscles to do that instead of pushing with your hands. Tuck the toes and lift the hips back to downward facing dog. And if that isn't working for you today, replace downward facing dog with a child's pose. Extend the left leg up to the sky and step the left foot up between your fingertips. Raised runner's lunge, lengthen the spine, knee over the ankle, lift the back thigh away from the mat, and then drop the knee down, finding a nice low lunge. Hands on the knees, or you can sweep the fingertips to the sky. Stay lifted through here. If that bothers your hip, pull back just enough to squeeze your inner thighs together. Find a place that works for you. As we exhale, we're going to press back and bring these toes right up to the sky so you can stretch the back of that leg. Coming back up to that raised runner's lunge and downward facing dog. Once again, as you spread those fingers out nice and wide, lift the sitting bones up, press the thigh bones to the back wall. Heels are making their way toward the mat. Really press down with all the little bones of your finger. Ripple out to your plank pose. Once again, feel free to drop knees, chest, chin, or to lower yourself down to the mat. Flatten the toes, finding that cobra pose low or up a little bit higher. Listen to what's happening in your body. Go as far as you can. That feels good for you. Press the pubic bone down, the shoulders back. Exhale, release. If you need a child's pose, take it, or tuck the toes and come back to your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. We're going to walk our feet all the way up to the top of the mat into a standing forward fold. Find length, hands on the shins or fingertips out in front of the toes. Exhale again, and then soften the knees and take the arms out to the side as we lift up and draw those palms to your heart center. Take a couple of breaths right here. We'll inhale, sweep the fingertips to the sky, hips push forward, spine back. Exhale, fold forward. Fingertips on either side of the front feet. Inhale, get length, look forward. As we exhale, step the right leg back once again. And we can drop that back knee down. Inhale, sweep the fingers to the sky. Exhale, release. Think about one breath per movement as we begin to take those poses and flow them together. Inhaling out to plank pose. Knees, chest, chin, or take it all the way down. Flatten the toes. Find cobra, or maybe you're ready for upward facing dog. Your chest moves forward in front of the shoulders. You open the collarbone, come up on all 10 of your toenails, and your knees are hovering over the mat. We tuck the toes, come back to downward facing dog. Let's extend that right leg back to the sky once again and step the right foot back up. Kind of stretches it out just a little bit. Finding that low lunge, go ahead and drop the back knee down. Walk the hands up the knees, or again, you can sweep the fingertips to the sky and exhale, release. Tuck the back toes. Let's step back up to the front of the mat. Inhale, get length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips to the sky. Look up and draw those palms to your heart. Take a nice breath. Inhale, sweep the fingertips to the sky. Look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, get length. This time as you step back with your left foot, see if you can't stay up on your toes this time. I know it's a little bit wobbly, so take your feet apart laterally and come to a high lunge. Lift the back thigh, bend the front knee so it's directly over the ankle, and you've got this 90-degree angle with your leg. Lift that heel in the back, lift the heart center up, and then exhale, release, downward facing dog. Once again, ripple out to plank. Take that little vinyasa of your choice. You can drop your knees, chest, chin, and find a cobra, or bend your elbows and come chaturanga and roll into upward facing dog. It's a little bit more advanced. Exhale, release. Right back to your downward facing dog. The left leg extends to the sky. Step the left foot up between your fingertips. See if we can stay up in that high lunge again this time. Sweep the fingers to the sky. Exhale, release, and step back up to the front of the mat. One more time. Inhale, get length, look forward. Exhale. Soften the knees, sweep the fingertips to the sky, look up, and draw those palms back in. Take a couple of breaths right here. Once again, I think we will try a little balance. So we'll just stay right here at the top of the mat. Press your right toes down into the mat. Soften enough so that your knee is not locked. And we'll lift the left knee up off the mat and open it out into a tree pose. So if we're feeling a little bit unsteady, you can just bring your toe to the mat and your heel to your ankle. If you want, bring it up to your calf. You can even bring it up to your inner thigh, keeping the knee open to the outside and palms at heart. Keep this breath steady, smooth. Your drishti, your focal point, on something that's not moving. And breathe. Keep the spine long. If you want more work, you can extend those arms all the way up. But obviously, keeping your levers close in is a little bit less challenging. So we'll release the feet. We'll inhale and sweep the fingertips all the way up. As we come forward into our forward fold, we're going to take just a moment after we extend the spine and lift the chin to bend the knees and find a chair pose right here. So we're sitting back, making sure we can see our toes out in front of our knees. Belly draws in and up. We keep the curve in the spine, draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Your palms can be here, they can extend. Take a nice deep breath as we exhale, round over, grab the elbows. Allow the upper body to hang. Release. And once again, sweep the fingertips to the sky. As we come to the other side, we're really going to root that left foot down into the earth. Just imagine you are a tree and the roots are going down deep. So as you rotate your right knee out to the side, find a place. It might challenge you. It might be that you need to take it easy today. So always something that's serving you. Match the breath, the rhythm of your heart. Focusing, breathing, standing tall. Take another breath. Exhale. Sweep the fingers to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Fold forward. Inhale, get length. Flat back, chin lifts. Exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Ripple forward. Take a chaturanga or lower all the way down. Knees, chest, chin. Find cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Right leg extends to the sky. We step up between your fingertips. Come back to that high lunge. As we sweep the fingertips up to the sky, we're going to drop the back left heel down in line behind the front right heel into a warrior one. So the hips stay squared with the front edge of the mat. And your foot, your back left foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Draw the palms down. When we float into a warrior two, you're going to pivot just a little bit on your back foot. Press up, elongate the body. So we're going to pivot around enough to open that left foot up. So now our feet are at 90-degree angles. We've got an external rotation on the front right thigh. The shoulders are soft. We're looking out over the right fingertips. As you squeeze your toes into the mat, notice that you're maintaining the arches of the feet, which is going to squeeze the glutes and those inner thighs. A very active pose. Coming into a side angle, we'll drop the forearm down, reach the left arm up. Try to stay in a nice alignment here, so don't poke your booty out too far. But yes, you want to pull your left thigh back and your shoulder blades to maintain that natural curve in your low back. Bring the arm over your head where the palm is facing down, and keep that right knee over the ankle right there. You can look up. Let's sweep that arm back and come back to the warrior two right here. Once again, looking out over those right fingertips, take a breath. We're going to straighten the front leg. And as we come into a triangle pose, we're going to push the left hip out and extend the right fingertips. Reach long. You can bring your hand to your shin. You can use your block. I like to use our blocks once in a while. Our props really help us here. It can start on the long side. You can eventually work it down to a shorter side, and eventually maybe to the mat. Drawing the shoulder blades together in the middle of the back. Look up. Breathe. And then as you rotate, bring your hands right back on the other side of your front foot. Rotate the back. Here you are back in that raised runner's lunge. Pull the front foot back, finding downward facing dog once again. Ripple out to your plank pose. If we're very tired, drop to your knees and go back to a child's pose, or take a cobra, inhaling, or upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, come back to your downward facing dog. As the left leg extends to the sky, we're going to step the left foot up between the fingertips and come to a high lunge. On the other side, bending the front left knee, right thigh pushes back. Reach the fingertips up to the sky. Feeling strong. And again, we're going to drop that right heel down. Usually the heels are lined up with each other. If that bothers your hip, go ahead and keep your feet further apart. It's what feels good in your body. Elongate the torso. Sink with the hips. And as we float to warrior two, you're going to open this back foot up so your feet are at 90 degrees. This time the left arm is forward, the right arm back. Keep that external rotation on that front thigh so that knee is going out towards the baby toe. You'll notice that your feet are pressing evenly into the floor, so we're not rolling up on that back edge of this back foot, but the toes are all pressed very nicely. As we exhale, we'll come into that side angle pose. Again, reach the fingertips up to the sky. Kind of a nice lifting. Now if you can, sink a little deeper. Bring the palm facing down. Think about moving the heart up toward the sky. If you want more work in this pose, you can take your hand all the way down to the floor. Or maybe, if we're a beginner, we're going to start with a block. Right there. Sweep all the way back around to that warrior two. Once again, very active pose. Inner thighs squeezing together. Shoulders are soft. So we're feeling relaxed. As we straighten the front leg, push that hip out and reach the under ribs. Coming into triangle on this side again. Feel free to use the prop, the block. You can take it down, lengthening, trying to stay as flat as possible. We're really working on eventually trying to bring this lengthening of the side of your waist sort of parallel with the mat. We We have a goal. That hip open, keep reaching, keep breathing. You're smashed between two pieces of glass, you're two-dimensional. As we bring the hands down and come back to our raised runner's lunge, we'll pull the front foot back. Once again, you're in downward facing dog, our nice home base. This time as you come out to your plank, we're going to drop to the knees and take a quick little child's pose, sitting back on your heels, crawl the fingers out, drop the forehead down. Coming back up to the hands and knees. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Once again, let's extend the right leg straight back out of your hip and the left arm reaches forward, thumb is up, palm faces in, spinal balance. Now think about rolling that right hip down to the earth and lifting with the inner thigh. So you're really finding length from the inner thigh to the heel as we reach long. Take a breath and then exhale, release to the other side. Extend the left leg back and the right arm forward again, keeping that nice long spine. It's as though someone's pulling you forward with your fingertips and back with your heel. If we have difficulty keeping that hip down, think about your back foot being pigeon-toed. Roll those hips down and move that toe to the center line of the body. Exhale, release. From here, we're just going to lower down to the mat, finding a locust pose. Bring your hands by your sides and go ahead and press your hands, your palms into the mat. It's as though you're doing Superman. So we're going to draw the shoulders back, lift the heart center forward. We don't look forward because we don't want to crush the cervical spine. We want to look off the edge of the mat. Press your hips into the mat and lengthen your legs. Again, you're going to roll those outer hips down, spread the toes, lift with the inner thighs, and your glutes are pretty soft here. So our ideals are to balance the body. So we work the front, we work the back, we work the legs, we work the arms. And exhale, release. Hands under the shoulders, press up, press back, cross your ankles. And bring the bottoms of your feet together, like a little butterfly. And maybe your butterfly is here, or someone else's butterfly is right here. Keep lengthening the spine. You can always sit back on your blanket or on your block to elevate your hips. Think about what's best for your body. And then as we come back, we'll just extend those legs right out in front of us. When we're in a forward fold, again, if you're sitting on a blanket or a block, it will feel a little bit easier to you to lengthen your spine forward. It's much better than rounding your back. So think about hinging from the hips. Even if you're sitting right here, continue to slide your hands forward and allow the breath to kind of soften everything and lengthen out of the low back. Feet can stay active. You can reach for your toes or keep your hands on your shins or by your side. Keep that breath smooth, fluid, relaxed. Maybe get another blanket or a block. And find a little bit more restorative position. We're actually going to go back down to the mat now. A little bit further. Pull those knees into your chest and just gently rock side to side, from hip to hip. Let's take one ankle and cross it over your thigh so you've got a little triangle and kind of reach through and grasp behind that. The leg can be straight up, it can be bent. You can take your elbow and dig into your knee and pull it in enough to feel a little stretch on the hip right there. again, we're just sort of rocking side to side, breathing. Let's switch sides, cross the opposite ankle over, reach through, and pull those hips in and feel that stretch. Your body is beginning to relax a little more. Your breathing is slowing. We're getting closer and closer to our final relaxation. And as we draw those knees back in, let's hold on to one shin and extend the leg out, maybe engaging the belly just a little bit, and then switch sides. This time, lower that leg down. When we drag this knee across for a lying down spinal twist, you want to be sure you're not going to torque your low back. So maybe lift your hips up enough so that you can stack one hip on the other. And look out. And if your shoulder blade stays in the floor, your knee might be all the way up here. So very gently begin to draw that knee down towards the floor. Take another breath, and as we roll back, pull those knees back in towards your chest. Hold on to the opposite knee. Again, we're just going to tuck the toes behind this opposite leg, kind of drag it over. Lift the hips if you need to, and bring it all the way down. Trying to keep the shoulder blades in the floor as we draw this opposite knee. You're going to get a really deep twist here. So be gentle. Be gentle with your body. Just relax. As we come back to the front and center, bring both of your feet next to your hips. We're going to peel the spine up to a little bridge pose. We're getting ready for our final relaxation. And as we unroll the spine bone by bone, all the way down, you can stretch your arms and legs out long and straight and open your palms up. Shavasana, corpse pose. Now everybody close your eyes and take a few moments to just totally relax into the mat. If this is a video for you that you're watching, go ahead and put it on pause and take as much time as you need. Let the breath be smooth and fluid. Let your eyes close and relax, and your body just sink into the mat. Once you've stayed here for a few minutes, and you're feeling really relaxed and very comfortable, you can again begin to pull the knees back into the chest and continue rocking, rolling over to one side, taking a few breaths on your side. And then from your side, we'll push ourselves back up to a seated position, coming back to where we started on the mat. Again, feeling calmness, allowing the head to drop to one side, and maybe rolling the chin across the chest, and dropping the head to the opposite side, as many times as we need. Drawing the shoulders back, we sweep the fingertips to the sky, and as we exhale and draw them back to the heart center, the thumbs touch our heart. Our eyes can remain closed, relaxed, and we're still breathing. And again, you can stay in these final poses as long as you'd like. Take one more deep breath in through the nose, fill the belly. Exhale very slowly, very softly, and allow that breath to bring some balance back into our bodies and minds once again. We always end our practice namaste. So you have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Namaste.